Now, push-pull is a technique that you may have heard of before. It's very popular in the pickup space where half the time you're kind of pushing the girl away, and then the other half the time you're pulling her in. So a very common technique that we use, a statement that we say is, too bad you're not my type, which is a push, because you're pretty cute, which is a pull. And it kind of gets her off balance, doesn't it? She's like, well, does he like me? Because he said I'm not his type, but then he said I'm really cute. So how do I feel about this? And that kind of off her inner balance point, that off balance kind of vibe, that actually builds a lot of attraction with women, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen.
The Unapologetic Man Podcast.
So again, half the time you're pushing her away, half the time you're pulling her in. Now, when it comes to pushing her away, it's never like a full disqualifier. What we call them are false disqualifiers. So it's things that can't really be true. So too bad you like the Denver Broncos because we can't be friends now. So it's very obvious that you're not going to like reject somebody just because they like a sports team or they like a kind of food or they're wearing like a particular kind of outfit, such as, I'm sorry we can't be friends because I don't talk to girls who wear yellow tops with black pants. My dad was killed by a girl with a yellow top and black pants. Can't do it. Can't talk to girls like you. It's obviously a false disqualifier. Yeah, it's a little cheesy, a little contrived, but guys, I always want you to think of these kinds of lines in the context of which you're going to use them, which is you're being flirty with a girl. You guys are perhaps in a nightclub or a bar. A lot of times people listen to the podcast and they're like, oh, those lines would never work because you're out of context. You're thinking in like logical man mode. When it comes to being flirty, when it comes to bantering with a woman, oftentimes those things that we say that get really good results do seem cheesy when you see them on paper. So while you're listening to this, really keep that in mind. This is flirtiness. This is like kids on the playground where you're just busting her chops and messing with her. This gets attraction from women. Don't be the dude whose logical mind blows you out from getting good with women. Really take these lines seriously because they do work when delivered in the right way. And always, boys, when delivered within the context of the 80-100 rule. You give her 80% of the pull that she's giving you, but you also send back the same amount of pushes in a joking way. False disqualifiers. I hope that made that clear. All right, guys, let's get into the lines. Line number one, as I said, too bad you're not my type because you're pretty cute. So too bad you're not my type, which is a push, because you're pretty cute, which is a pull. And it kind of gets her off balance, doesn't it? She's like, well, does he like me? Because he said I'm not his type, but then he said I'm really cute. So how do I feel about this? And that kind of off her inner balance point, that off balance kind of vibe, that actually builds a lot of attraction with women, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen. Number two, and I love this one, I've been saying this a lot lately. You're talking to the girl, and remember, guys, you have a couple compliments in the bucket. It's really important that you remember this. You look at her and you're like, dude, you are so cute, Kelly. I'd totally take you home with me, but unfortunately I can't due to Colorado's recent changes in human trafficking legislation. And then she cracks up. So this is a really good line. You're really cute. I'd totally take you home with me, but I can't due to recent changes in Colorado's human trafficking legislation. And of course, just add your state in there. Okay, another one I love. There's so many good things about you and just one bad. And this one will really get her to chase. In fact, this is included in my building intrigue elements in my coaching program where we get girls to chase you, which is obviously another podcast I should do. And maybe I'll do it in the near future. But this is a whole packet that I teach my boys, lines to say to get girls to chase you. There's so many good things about you and just one bad. She's going to be like, well, what's the bad? And I always say, why do you only want to know the bad? Why are you being so negative? And she's always like, no, I just want to know because, like it just makes me curious. And I'll be like, don't you understand that 9 out of 10 African children are dying every 2 minutes due to starvation? Don't be so negative. Just take the compliment and run with it. And then I won't tell her for a long time. And then what I'll do, and this is pretty lame and it's pretty contrived, but again, this is when she's attracted, okay? And I really need you to understand that girls think differently when they're attracted. We have signs of attraction. She's throwing compliments. So I'm like, there's so many good things about you and just one bad. And she's like, what's the bad? And I'm like, why do you only want to know the bad? Make her chase. Then say, it's too bad I can't fit you in my pocket because I'd take you home with me. And then you could say that thing I just said, but I can't due to Colorado's recent changes in human trafficking legislation. And she's going to crack up. Again, guys, playfulness, kids on the schoolyard. This is how attraction is built. The next one is, I like your energy. It's 40% adorable, 60% completely psychotic. That thing you did last week, I heard about you. Burning down that poor bastard's taco stand because he didn't give you the exact taco that you wanted. Hurricane Amy up in here, Typhoid Amy, getting it on. But you're totally adorable. Like 50% adorable, 50% psychopath. Kind of like that. Kind of don't like it, but I also kind of do. And you guys can see I'm like push-pulling, right? Like the whole time. And you could do this physically too. Push her away and then grab her by the belt loops and pull her back in. I do this all the time, especially before the first kiss. You seem like the type who gets away with things just by smiling. You got this like mischievous element about you and you just float through life, just smiling at everybody. All teach is glimmering in the desert sun and you just get doors open for you. You get freebies all the time. You're trouble, girl, I can tell. What's up, brother? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. To watch the full podcast episode, click here. And before you go, if you're feeling extra generous, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me in the algorithm. I'd sincerely appreciate it. Unapologetic Army.